Okay, perfect. Perfect. It's okay. Let's see if I'm streaming. Just want to make sure I'm streaming. Hold on. There we go. Okay, gotcha. Well, I got some lag. Okay. Alright, so now it's working good. It's kind of got a little lag though. Well, I'm sorry about that if there is some lag there. We're looking at, I'm actually now noticing that there's a piece on pre that we can make on pre. So if we go queen d5, we're threatening checkmate and also potentially picking up the queen, I mean the rook in the corner, so potentially that's an idea. Okay. Just 1 sec, I have to do one thing. think I got it fixed now. We'll take a look to see. Perfect, okay. Ay, ay, ay. There's a potential check on. I actually prefer, now that I look at it, Queen F3 check, and well, maybe. See, Queen F3 check, Knight, or if Knight, not Knight, we'll say Bishop, Bishop D5. I guess you could play G4 at that point and pick up the piece. Or we could take the knight, a bishop. Hey, wait a second. Why don't we just take the bishop? Knight takes d7, check. Queen takes d7, and then queen f3. f3 check. That picks up the rook in the corner. Yeah. Glad we took a second and took a look at that. Oh, perfect. It's recording now. Good. See if we play rook e8, e8 check, king, b7, knight b4, check. If queen takes f3, queen to a6 is mate. And if he pushes the pawn, then we still have the same setup for a mate as well. Queen here, then rook slides over, and we got mate. Wonder why the other one didn't work. What's going on? Stop that. What are you doing? Okay. Did not see that. So let's see, what are we looking for now? Sure, what to do here? Just think. Take your time. Let's see. What did it surrender? It surrendered e6. Also, what can we make an idea based on? Let me see here. The knight on c5. Do we have any checks? Do we have any combinations? Do we have any we do have b4. Oh, that works too. Takes fork. Oh yeah, you do have that in passing. Didn't think about that. E takes d6. Good thinking. E takes d6. If bishop takes d6. Bishop takes d6. I'm sorry, queen takes d6. Queen takes d6. Or bishop takes d6. Queen takes d6. Or just plain old see, e takes d6. Bishop takes d6. Bishop takes d6. knight f5. No, knight f5 doesn't work. So e takes d6, bishop takes d6. I was thinking knight f5, but that doesn't work because bishop takes f4, and that fails. But I'm thinking that this is the right setup. I'm just trying to figure out where you have an idea? Bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, but well, there's queen potential. Actually, bishop takes, queen takes d6. Boy, this is a tough one. I'm trying to see if bishop takes, queen takes. Does that really do anything? Thinking let's see here. Rook G5, G5 check. King H3. Queen F5, 5 check. King H4. See, Rook G5, King H3. See, we can't go F1 because he'll block with the knight. So we have a bishop that we can get involved. Nice. So let's go for it. I didn't see that bishop. So if we check here, bishop takes, queen check, king runs. So we can't do that. Rook H5, knight takes. Pawn push. Jack there. So that doesn't fly. There is bishop F6. That would take care of the mate. What about bishop F6? Threatening to that would hold on to our rook too as well. That sets up a discovery. What do you think, Erie? Bishop F6? Because then any move, I think we can take advantage of the pin. Because bishop F6, rook A8, check, king G7. But I think he might have a maybe better move. Let's see. Let's see if we can find his best move. Bishop f6, knight d5. So knight d5 after the bishop move. Then we have double check on h5. King g3. And then queen to h3 is mate. Actually, he can go king f4. But then, see, we have to free up a spot for our king. Otherwise, we're going to have to block with our bishop to h8. See, if we try anything other than that, we don't have a spot for our king to flee to. So I'm thinking that that's it, yeah. Yep. Then bishop takes c3. Let's get our points back. We're doing it. Okay. Knight takes d6, check. If king f8, we have bishop c5. That'd be a setup for a discover check, or a pin. So if he tries to scare us away with b6, we throw in the in-between move knight f5, and we're double attacking the queen with a pin. And when b takes c5, knight takes e7. Knight takes e7, and we picked up a piece in that line. Yep, let's go for it. F3. There we go. This is a interesting one. Rook takes. D6. Rook takes D5. Let's see. Bishop takes G2. Knight takes F7. Rook takes D1. Rook takes D1. Bishop takes F4. King takes F4. Rook F1, F8 with a pin. I think we're up material on that line. Yep. Oops, wrong one. That's different. I gotta see why that didn't work. Okay. It takes here, takes here, takes there, rook takes, bishop takes here, king takes, king G, and it's equal position. So that when bishop takes, knight takes here, you actually play there, he takes, and then you bring this rook over. And so that when that's played, you bring the other rook over, and when it comes there, then you take there. Okay, gotcha. Didn't know that. Now I do. Okay, let's see. Queen G5. Queen G5. Queen D2. Queen D2. Actually, good. Knight takes D5. Knight takes D5, and you pick up a piece because the bishop can't take, and the rook. Well, I guess the rook could take at that point. The rook could move. Actually, they could just take the knight. What am I talking about? If Queen G5, Queen takes F6 is a problem. Not good. So I'd probably say knight takes d5. Knight takes d5. That would win a pawn. Because I think that when he left when he played rook d7, I mean d4, rook from d4 to f4, he left the d5 pawn on pre. The bishop is pinned, so the bishop can't take. And then when the rook moves, we just check, and when he tries to block with the pawn, the knight can actually take at that point. Then when the queen comes over, then the knight goes to h3, and we basically trade off. We get 2 pawns, which is enough for a win. Oh. Did not even think of that. That's wowzers. So here, so look, you can't take there. Ah, it's protected indirectly. Gotcha. I forgot that he can't take. If he takes here because of the pin, gotta remember that. Gotta keep that in my forefront of knowledge. I kind of reacted. There's no reason to worry about this. You can just win the bishop. Yep. That's right. Can't move our rook because if we do, it's mate. So rook h7 and queen f8 is mate. So king's forced to move. Oh, it's not mate? Huh. Oh, because it's pinned. I can't believe I missed that. That was a cincher. That's pinned. Okay, let's get this back. I thought it couldn't. I have to calculate that better. That's okay. We'll get it back. Just we gotta slowly progress forward. So b6. Ah, I got it. Here and over is mate. Takes. There we go. The rook's only protected by this knight here, but it's protected there, so Let's see, what do we got here? Let's see, if we play Queen G6, check, King G6, check, King D8. What do we got? Basically, it's nothing. Ooh, we got a we have an idea. If we play G5, H takes G5, Knight takes G5, Rook H8, Queen G6, check, King D8, and then Knight F7, fork. Oh, so it's that first. But what? Why? Oh, knight IE4, knight E4. Okay, he blocks. I didn't take into consideration that he can block. So that's the reason. And then now this line actually comes to, okay, move order sequence. I needed to flip the check around and then do that. Gotcha. That's fine. We'll get it back. You know what? They could take the points, but they can't take our learning. So we gotta remember that. Learning is power. Okay, so this is a puzzle, one of those puzzles. So, see here. Knight F7, check. King G7. H8 equals queen check. Rook takes H8. Knight takes H8. King takes H8. King H6. King G8. G7. King F7, and then King H7, and then it goes through. Because if we try moving the king, it doesn't work, because after we try that, he'll pin, and then when we check, it'll be a stalemate if we go to H6 right now. So this is kind of a forced move here. And we can't turn it into a queen because it would be stalemate. You have to turn it into a rook. You actually go king a4, and when the queens, you play bishop check there, and it's all over. First of all, you can actually, now at this point we gotta write out the lines. Bishop g2 check, king, if he goes c8, then we can actually push the well, let's see here. Let's see, cool. Bishop g2, king c. Oh, we can actually go king to b5, and then we can push on through. That's right. Check. There we go. Let's see. Knight takes e1, takes e6, knight takes c2, knight takes d8, rook takes d8. But it actually would check it with that, so we can take, so let's see, knight takes e1, that's actually with check now. Rook takes e1, queen takes e1, queen h7, check, king f8, rook, if queen h8, check, then king to e7, and we're safe. Yep. There we go. Just gotta constantly get them right. We're building back the points. Just gotta constantly not be afraid to get them right. Let's see here. Rook takes e8. Check. Rook takes e8. e8. Rook takes e8. Check. Queen takes e8. And then g takes h3. Let's see here. Bishop. Nope, that one doesn't work because the knight would take it. I was thinking bishop a6, but then knight takes, and no, it doesn't work. Well, I think it does, actually. I'm wrong. Bishop h6. If knight takes h6, queen b3, check. Knight b4. Queen takes b4, check. a6. And then I believe we could play rook d3 at that point. So bishop h6 check. If king takes a6, then we have queen c4 check. If king b7, queen b4 check, king a6, then rook d3. Yep, going with it. Oops, sorry, right here first, and then up and then over. There we go. Let's see if we see rook g3. That sets up for a discovery. He does have rook g3. He's got king h2, so we can't do that. We could play bishop h3. Then what would he be able to do? That covers g4. So he can't guard the king at that point. And he can't come forward, he can't come to h2. So if we played bishop h3, what would be his best move? I don't think that's our best move either. So let's see. Bishop h3, rook takes d5, rook g3, check, king h one, bishop, g2, check, king h2, bishop takes d5, king takes g3, then rook takes d2. Oh, right here. Oh, snap. Why didn't I think of that? This is a back rake. Oh, I didn't see that. It liked our idea, so it gave us a point. It just wasn't the idea that it wanted, but it liked the idea, so hooray on that. Let's see, if we play knight takes c3, check, b takes c3, queen takes c3, I don't think we get anything. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Because if you're, I'm more than willing to entertain if you have anything to talk about. We have bishop takes. Yeah, you could actually play bishop takes c3, rook takes d7, What do we do in that line? Bishop takes c3. Rook takes d7. thinking, let's see if rook takes d7, rook takes d7, rook takes, not rook takes d7, rook takes d2, rook takes d2, rook takes d2, queen takes d2. Hey, hello. Hey. Queen takes. There's bishop takes c3, and if b takes c3, queen takes a3 check, king b1. Rotates, 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 rotates. Queen takes. Bishop, pawn takes. And the knight comes in. Oh, it does work. Okay. It does work. So let's go with it. Oh, it doesn't? Nope, so that's not it. Huh. let's see, queen f6. The rook's on pre, so we can make an idea based on that rook. Queen h5 check. If king e 7, then knight g6 check, and we pick up a rook. Or he has to move out, and if he starts moving out, then we can actually potentially checkmate our opponent. And we still win the rook. So, and if he moves to d8, king d8 after that, or if he pushes the pawn, you can actually play bishop takes and still have a pretty good attack. Yeah, I'm liking that. Boom. No? What did I... Oh, oh. So this was the... When it left this behind. Okay. Alright. That's not... I thought I could win a knight. I was looking at a tactic for winning a knight. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Okay. So what did this leave behind? Basically the protection of this, so... So a5. Actually, our rook's under fire, isn't it? Rook d5. Or d5 rook's under fire. How do we take care of that? You don't want to react, so we're not going to react to that. We could actually potentially take the pawn with the queen. Bishop takes d2, then we can actually double up on the bishop. Yeah, I think let's see if this actually plays out good. Queen takes e4. If bishop takes d2, or d2, rook e3, e d3. that's interesting. Or maybe even better, queen takes e3, and if bishop takes d2, we have rook e2, and that threatens mate, pins the bishop to the queen. Yeah. Oh, you really? What I miss? Oh, this here, okay. Really? Really? What would have been his best move after take? 'Cause I gotta see this. That is strange. Oh, rotates rotates there. Okay. I did not see that, mate. Okay. Boy, I gotta say, I think they rate these. That's just my opinion. Some of those ones are really tricky. Some of the those other ones are tricky. So. Okay, if we push the pawn g2, king g1, bishop d4, check, king takes h2, and then we actually queen, and we set up for a mate. Bishop check. When the king comes up, I guess can we actually transpose that into a, do we want to transpose it into a queen or a knight? Yep, right here. That's right. We have, I'm going to go over a game in just a second. I go between both of them. I do tactics on chess.com, and then I do games because they're easier to analyze on, yeah. I do both. I use both. I figure why not. You can't go wrong. You know what? You have extra resources to use. Let's see there. So I'm just gonna queen. Yeah. Don't go crazy. Just do it. So if you check here with the rook, king takes, then you come over here. When the queen takes, you come here and skewer. This is actually an idea in an endgame. So okay, h6, rook a1, check, king there, a2 or a7, queens, takes, rook takes, queens. Okay, so you have to do it right. First move, well, you gotta be careful here. I think we have to check the king first, if I'm not mistaken. I think rook d8, check. If king, let's say c2. h6. Rook, let's say a1. h7. d1 equals queen. Rook takes, d1, and then h8 equals queen. What? Something? True. Very true. Let's see here. You know, you can learn something from every one of them, that's for sure. Queen h1 is an interesting move. Queen f3 is interesting too. A takes b6. If rotates b6, then queen queen h6. Oh, nice. Congrats. Oh boy. I'm thinking that it's queen h1, but I'm not sure. Queen h1. What do you think it is? Do you think it's queen h1? Because we're taking the scope on this pawn and stopping the h pawn from progressing, and we can actually take it with check. Once we take it with check, then we have he can. I don't care if he takes this, as long as we get this pawn, we can push this up the board. Yeah. There's only one sitch that he has, is that's a rook h5 that I can see, and b takes c6, rook g1. So I'm not sure. Trying to see what did he leave behind. I think at this point, if he plays here, we're probably gonna have to play queen takes h2, but I don't want to do that. We're missing something. I'm missing something here. Oh. Okay, let's give that a shot. Oh, it's check. Ah, drat. Let me see here. Do we go back? And then we put, nope. I guess we got, do we have perpetual? We would, if he checks here, we go here, and then we basically, it's going to be an interesting road to hoe for sure. We're close, very close. Okay. Rook b3, check. King a1, rook a3, check. And then king b2 and queen what happens after that? Let me see. Oh, not. Oh, sorry. I forgot to put. Sorry, I forgot to put king b2. Oops. King b2. There we go. Not king. Not b2. King b2. Okay, I'll do that. I will in just a sec. I promise. Hold on. I just want to finish this, and then we'll do some studies. I just want to finish this one out, and this one's an interesting one. Oh, wait a second. Could, no, I don't know if that, would that work? Hold on. Hold on. If here, Queen A2, check, and then King B1. No, that can't be right. And then Rook to, no, he would take our Rook if we played Rook C3. I'm missing something here. I'm missing a move sequence somewhere. Let's see. Rook B3, King A1. Let's see. Maybe it is right. Let's see. Rook A3, check. King B2. Rook A2. Yeah, no, that's right, but oh yeah, you're right. Cause here, there, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll do on that. Yeah, that was funny. For some reason, I couldn't visualize that. This is actually from a game, the Karen Cup. This is Annie versus Sabag. It was a really, the reason I liked this was there was some really good, at the very end, a good tactic that ended the game, which is pretty rare for, you know, like 2400 level players to actually have, or 25, 24, to have these type of tactics that happen, but they're there. And so the reason I wanted to do that was to show you how that tactics, the reason we do tactics is it's important to show what we can do. Yeah. C4. C3. So it's a Slav defense, the main line. in black, if you notice, surrendered the center for a side pawn, so the knight can actually come in, and e4 is a playable move at that moment. Knight c3, and then e4. There you go. See, you got used in that lines. In some of the Slavs, white will trade their c pawn for the d pawn, and then you get a massive center expansion control. Pawn takes, and white doesn't really much mind as long as white can dominate the center. Black doesn't really have any play. They can play on the wing, but we can easily take care of that by hammering right up the center. So e5, and now if pawn takes, so I'm not sure if that was maybe the best. Maybe, well, I guess maybe she wants to castle queenside would be an interesting idea too. So takes here, bishop takes, bishop d6, and then castles. Now we have an attack right on through to the queen. This bishop is weak, so queen c7, only move to guard the bishop and protect e5 fork. Yes, I did. She's actually she's she's on a women's gym. She's a grandmaster. Yeah, it takes a lot. She had to get to 3 grandmaster norms and 2500 level in FIDE. So it's not an easy task to accomplish. H3, I mean H4, and this is our good friend Harry is coming up the board to, so if black wants to castle, you know what, we're just going to go h4, h5, and he'll have to give way, and we'll have all of our pieces ready to open him up like a tin, open our opponent up like a tin can, right? So e5, that attacks the queen, and we really don't want to surrender our queen. We don't want to give up our bishop pair. See, that's our trump for this bad pawn structure. So you don't want to give up what you basically gave your pawn structure up for, which would be our bishop. We don't want that. And bishops of opposite color usually end up, not all the time, end up in a draw. And so Anna didn't want a draw. She wanted to go for the KO. This is an interesting move. It looks like you could win, but not really. This gets out of any checks. See, sometimes you have to throw in a prophylactic move, and if knight goes to f4, we have a potential queen e3, and at this point this knight is kind of awkwardly placed, but they do have knight. They could have forced a bishop trade, so we might want to play in that line. Let's say here, we probably would want to play here, but then you got to be really careful of this. But I think we're still okay even after. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like this type of a setup for white. The pawns are horrible, so I don't think I would go down that line. I think I might even move my queen further over, so like if something like this, maybe we can just move it even further over and just say, you know what, you can have it for now, but you know what, it's not forever. And I can even kick you out with knight to e2 at the right moment and get rid of your knight, so it's not implanted there forever. Knight g6, knight b5, c takes b5, queen takes b5, Queen takes b5. King to h8. And we take. So we actually, this was the tactic I wanted to show you right here. This was the tactic that was really interesting. That, yeah, it's kind of like different because you really don't get to drop on a Grandmaster. You don't usually get to drop something like this. That type of an attack. I found that really interesting, so I wanted to share that. There, now we're attacking. Knight takes, and so we're going for the KO here. With here. Now the knight is actually trapped. Not really yet, because they're barely holding on. So she got her pawn back with a nice tactic, and this is a nice tactic too, a little slick trick. If you take here, so be careful of that. That was a nice trick. I'm almost thinking I like this move slightly here. I know that queen takes, and pawn takes, so you have to be really on task. Oops, sorry, my pawn can't take. My bad, sorry. Oops, yeah, she can't take here, so she's got to basically run. And then you can just start attacking. And maybe something like this. Now you have to be really careful that you don't fall for anything. Like if takes here, you're in deep trouble. So, but if you're in deep trouble now because you got this, you'd have to play like that. And then now you have a rook. And oh boy, not looking too good for what if knight takes? Oh, you win the rook. You win the rook, but you could, if you tried checking, I guess you could do that, but and now you lose a rook. She's up a whole pawn, a whole piece. How did she get up a whole piece, by the way? Maybe knight here would have held. I think still though you have a pin. Yeah, you're having a big time problem here. You're gonna lose a piece. That's a problem as well, because then all you're gonna do is start trying to. How do you hold on? You're gonna have to hold here, and then now a pawn falls. So. very unfortunate event for sure. Yeah. She got into time trouble, I think, and ended up piece up. This holds that together, so I don't know if there's a way, because this is just too strong. She could have potentially just did that, and then so, but I think it's okay. Yeah. Now the pawn's under fire. There you go. You could try this, but and this is always going to be a weakness forever, so it's totally, in my opinion, almost over. I kind of could see how that might be a problem, so then you have there, so you'd have to come up here thinking that this is a better way to hold. I don't know if I would have given up my pawn. I think I would have played here, and if you played there, you just come in here. Now they have to play. I guess you could they could take here, so maybe that's the reason that's a bad move. Let's see there. Yep, there we go. That's the reason. Give that up to push that. Okay, gotcha. I was wondering what that move was for. And then now, if the king comes up here, the bishop could actually just go there, and actually you could just bring your king, and there's no need to even move the bishop. How are you gonna make any progress? You can't. This is gonna end up becoming a queen. Yeah. Do you have any questions on any of the moves before I log off? Okay. And I wanted to thank you for logging on. You know what? And helping out. We're doing good. We're learning. We're improving. We got to go over a wonderful game, and congratulations to Valentina for winning the Carolyn Cup. That was congrats. And you know what? I'm so glad that they're having that, and I hope they have many, many more to come. Because I'm glad that they're pushing for better pots for women. That's important. Very important, in my opinion. Alright, so what we have to do is remember that life is about treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. Remember that mistakes don't define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you. And that's the big two that I follow. So like when we get those wrong, and let's say they take like 10 points away, but we get like 5 back to back, and we only get maybe like 9 points back out of that. Remember, yes, we missed one, we learned from it, but those 5 we got. So treasure those 5. Doesn't matter how many points they give you for it. It's that you got it right. It's reinforcing your mind and you will get quicker the better we do it. And as long as we keep learning and never give up, but always keep pushing forward, you're a victor. You're number one. Because it's not about the points. Because my teacher told me, I asked him about points. Why do some players get a lot of points? Why do they not? He told me, don't worry about the points. The points will come with experience. And I took that to heart, and it really helped me with like puzzles. When we did our best and we calculated, and we may have missed a move, as long as we learn to go maybe one step deeper in that position and help us to search maybe one more move further to see if it works or doesn't work, that's worth missing it right there, because it's about learning. And that's why you do puzzles. It's not for it is for the rating, I understand, but I mean it's not for the rating. It's so that you can learn the patterns. See, that's the whole thing about puzzles, and your rating is based on your how good you can spot patterns. And right now we're learning our patterns. And sometimes we make hiccups, which means move sequence are you may need to actually check before you push the pawn. That could be corrected. We just have to make sure that as they say, we don't have dyslexic calculating. We want to make sure our calculation is 100% on. But like what Bruce Lee said, there are no limits, there are plateaus, and we must not stay there. We must go beyond them. Knowing is not enough. We must apply, he also said, and willing is not enough. We must do. So we have to take what we know and apply it, and that's what we're doing. Sometimes you have days that are like diamonds that are in, you get a lot of stones. Sometimes you have days that you get a lot of diamonds. It's just learning. Well, if you think about a runner, I always like using a runner. When they first started out training, they don't look like what they do in the Olympics. Sprinters, they have to build up. They have to you probably how many hours they spend in the gym and how many hours they spend running just for like 10 seconds to sprint. They spend tens of thousands of hours just training for that one day that they hold the thing up. They say, get ready, get set, boom. That's what they've trained those 10,000 hours plus for, is for to win. And you know what? That's how you got to look at these tactics. You're training here, you're making your mistakes here, so that when you sit at the board, you're gonna win. And you put in your hours so that you can win. So you got to think how sore those runners must have been, but they got stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's just, well, we're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So don't ever look at the rating. My teacher told me, and I says, you know what? I'm going to take that to heart, and it's helped me improve. Well, do you know what we always have to do? Remember that the Lord is what's important. He's the one who gives us strength, the thoughts. Sometimes He puts us through trials to see what we'll do. If you you wonder like, why, if the Lord's in charge, this thing's happening sometimes. He wants to see if you're going to persevere in your chess studies or whatever field that He has you in. Will you keep pushing forward? Or at the slightest loss of some rating or whatever, would you just turn away? So it's those type of trials that even a sprinter, whatever field you're in, they have to go through those days when they don't want to wake up, when they don't want to do puzzles, when they rather want to play, but they need to be lifting weights and stuff. You got to put in your time. You have to. And it's not going to be fun all the time, because you're going to be sore sometimes. What our soreness is when we're stretching our mind, and our chest puzzles rating sometimes goes down. That's our stretching, and the pain a little bit, because you're learning, your brain is growing, and it doesn't come without consequences or cost. But I'd rather have the cost happen now than at the board. And I know you two as well, my friends, would have the same feeling that I do. But okay, what we have to do, remember though, is hang up our coat, hang up our hat, sit down and study. When most won't, we do. And that makes all the difference. Trust me, it does. When the amount of time you put in. As Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And we'll keep pushing forward to our 2,500 level marker. We will get there, one step at a time. And you know what? One day at a time. Great job. Go Team Chess Cruncher. Hoorah. Be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.